Hello, this is Tom Crandall from Gear Mashers, and today I just wanted to discuss some of the things I use to make videos, plus some of the tools I use when I'm working on bikes, to either my bike or maybe a friend's bike. But the first thing I'm using is, this is by Sennheiser, and it's an AVX wireless lav setup. And so basically I have a transmitter here that goes to the receiver, and this is a Zoom H6. And so what this does is this records audio. So I'm using a Canon G7X camera to record the video right now. I have a bunch of different cameras, but this is the one I'm using. And so with this lavalier mic, this just attaches to maybe a belt loop or your belt, and then you wear it, and then the little microphone here that I have on my shirt, that's what I'm talking into. The lighting that I have is by Aperture, and these are light storms. So I have 3 lights right now. I have sort of 2 floodlights and then 1 main light that's coming here. The floodlights light up what's behind me, and this is a green screen. And so that's what I'm gonna be doing, and so I can change the background with that. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk over to my tool set that I just set up and show you some of the tools I use and why you might want to get them to help you with your bike, maybe help a friend out. You don't need all the tools, but I found these over the years to be really useful, rather than having to take your bike to a bike store or bike shop to get it worked on. Some of the things you can do in-house, and so it just makes life a lot easier. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from here over to my little tool set. Hey guys, alright, so we're away from my desk now and we're over to my tool area. I just set this up. This came from the Container Store. It's an Alpha product. So the Alpha shelving here, and then the board here. So you can get like a peg board at the hardware store, but I found this to look sort of nice. And so these are the main tools I use when I'm working on a bike. And so over on the left hand side here I have some cassette tools that I use. So we have, let me just grab these 2. So I have a pair of cassette pliers, and I've done a video on this on removing cassette, and also a Lockring tool. And these products are both by Park, but essentially the cassette tool just holds on to the cassette, and then this fits into your Lockring, and then you can loosen it or tighten it as needed. I found this there's 2 reasons I really like this particular tool. Is it has a hole in it, as you can see, and so a lot of times you don't have to take off the skewer in order to pull the Lockring off. So that's why there's a hole in there, and it also has a handle, so that means you don't have to use an adjustable wrench with a Lockring tool, because most of the Lockring tools don't have this handle already attached. So that's sort of neat. These, again, what's neat about these is I've used chain whip in the past, and I always found the chain whip to be sort of annoying, but these just grab right on to the cassette, and it makes it easy to remove the cassette or tighten it or put it back on. So those are the 2 cassette tools I work with, and I really suggest getting some cassette tools if you're into cycling, and even if you're beginner cyclist. It's nice to have. That way you don't have to take it to a shop, and it's pretty easy. There's lots of videos online, including mine. The next 2 tools I use a lot have to deal with pedals, and so depending on your pedal, you're going to either use an 8mm hex wrench or a pedal wrench. And so basically the difference is with some pedals you actually have to screw them in from the back side of the pedal, and then some pedals actually have screws or bolts or whatever that the pedal wrench can hold on to tighten them or loosen them. So I found that having both these tools is sort of nice, especially if you're going to be switching pedals or buying new pedals and you're not exactly sure which one. Having both of these, then you're all set. This is by Lysine, by the way, and there is a little bottle opener on here, so if you like drinking beer, that's a little nice to have. Okay, the next tool that I love these are the 3-handle Park Hex Wrench, and these are ball tipped, and so it just makes it easier to get in when you're working on something. So a lot of times if you're working, maybe you're putting on a bottle cage or something like that, these are nice because they can go right in there. Now one thing I have found, especially like with bottle cages, the cage sometimes gets in the way of this, so it makes it a little harder to go. So what I've done is I've also gotten some Hex screwdriver type tools, and so this allows me to avoid the cage here and just go right in. And sometimes I just find it easier to work with these, so having both is really cool. So I'll put this back here. Other things, I just have some regular wrenches from Park. The 15, 14, 17. I should have a 16. I don't have a 16 in these, but sometimes I just like using these. This is what a lot of shops have. The other thing that shops carry too is some type of grease. So when if you're greasing components and things like that, this is Phil's waterproof grease, and so I find this to be pretty useful, and it's lasted a long time. Let's see. Here's a little Hex tool, multi-tool, that sometimes I'll use if I'm out riding. I might bring this, so I have something to work with. Of course, having just a regular screwdriver can be helpful. And then tire wrenches. This is sort of an odd one. This is by Crank Brothers. Anyway, it's supposed to make it easier for tire removal. But I normally just have 2 tire levers, and I most of the time they're plastic. I have actually a few of them, but I like the plastic ones a little better. It sort of prevents getting pinch flats when you're trying to fix a tire that you can do sometimes if you have metal ones. So that's pretty much it as far as the tools that I have. Oh, this one, this is one of my tools for a specific trainer, the Tax Neo. So this allows me to pull off, there's a silver disc on the trainer, and so this allows me to do that. Other than that, having just a measuring tool, I like this a lot, and especially if I'm changing seats, you know, I want to make sure that when I put a new seat on, even though it's going to be slightly different, just to make sure that I have the measurements about the same as my old bike. So I'll use this a lot. I think that's it as far as tools. Having a bike stand. I have a Park race stand, but I'll probably end up getting something else. Having a bike stand is great because you can put your bike out there and work on it just like you would if you were at a bike store. And then, just because this is metal and I think this is cool, here's a level that I have, so that just sort of sticks on there. But that's it. So that's my tools that I normally have. And also over here, this is my green screen that I showed you in the beginning. Thanks a ton for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also check out our website, gearmasters.com. Everything that I talk about here, I usually do a little bit more in-depth review on the website itself. The YouTube stuff is just more high level, and then I get a little bit down and dirty when I actually write reviews and maybe even give backgrounds about companies that make the various products that I talk about. So anyway, thank you so much for watching.